incident, which really like stopped me for a minute and like was like, whoa, like life can just be gone like that. Like if
well, I'm gonna shop my shop. 1% better. Putting that work. 1% better. Putting that work. Putting that work. Okay.
Listen, you all.
Why are you mad?
Wait, listen. This guy's evil.
What did I do?
So you see, to the point that when I was rushing, I need to fix the camera right now. Listen, just no, keep going.
See, look. This is why I was rushing. We could be.
I'm trying to put him in the view.
Okay. I can't be mad.
I'm trying to put him in the view.
Can't be mad.
Dog. How you doing, man? What's poppin'?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, just finished the first week of a new job. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, how was it?
It was pretty good, actually. It was pretty good.
Making that big bread, eh?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna be the big dog in town.
I'm trying to be like you, man.
Nah, man.
I'm trying to be like you, man.
Way, man.
One day, though.
One day.
I'm gonna be great like you.
Look at this. Jeez.
So first things first. What we do?
Always, you know.
As
Thanks
always,
there, you know?
we got to give thanks to God,
The big man.
first and foremost, for everything, just for waking us up, giving us the ability to come into the podcast,
True.
get here safely,
Sure.
and be alive in the first place.
True.
So we gotta give thanks to God.
Always.
Thanks for the people that are listening. Not only the people that are listening, but for the power of technology to even get the message across, right?
Yes, sir.
So thanks to God,
Yes,
first
sir.
and foremost.
You know, we're growing, man.
We're growing.
Big, we're growing.
Getting good.
Yes,
Getting
sir.
big.
1%
Getting
better
big.
every
1%
day.
better every day.
Yes, sir.
Every single day. Last episode, we had Merlin on, and there was gems.
Yes, sir.
Gems. She actually made me think in a different way on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the importance of inconsistency.
Yeah.
You know, like
Just
you never think about that,
Yeah.
of being inconsistent, right? So like
Sure.
that was something big.
Yeah.
As well as she said the importance of finding balance.
Yeah.
You know, balance in between letting God lead and moving yourself.
Way. Yeah.
You know, so like yin and yang.
Yeah, true.
So a lot of great gems
Check it
from
out.
there.
Yeah, I should. It's a good
But
episode.
today,
Wait, before that.
okay, go ahead.
Try and say your last name one more time. Let's see if we can get it.
Hubbard.
Merlin.
Oh, Merlin, you, Walaka.
Butchered. Sorry.
No, I think. Okay.
Go
We'll
back
see.
to go back to
We'll go.
go back to the old episode.
We'll go back and check.
So you see, my butchering the girl's name. Anyways, you go on.
It's gonna set me up for failure.
Nah.
Today, though, we have a special guest.
Yes, sir.
So today, our guest is a serial entrepreneur,
Boom,
as well as a mother
boom,
and a creative.
boom,
She went to school at Grand McEwen,
boom.
and she did her bachelor's in commerce,
Okay,
but also in commerce in business management.
okay.
And then, she went out, she did her thing
Yeah.
to go out now into the field and see what she could do. But she realized that, it's not that easy because you need experience.
Yeah.
So due to lack of experience, but they won't give you the job to say that you get experience.
Yeah.
But due to that, she decided, you know what? I want to do something that combines my passion, which is music,
Yeah.
with my education.
Okay.
And that's when the idea for Expose Creatives
Gee.
was created. You know what I'm saying? So then not only
Exposed.
that, exposed.
Exposed.
Not only that, but she also created a page,
Okay.
Dear Kings and Queens,
Okay.
which is the whole purpose is to shed motivation and light into the world,
Boom,
right?
boom. Energy. I
On
like
top of that, to complement that,
Oh my God.
she got an affirmation apparel
Hey.
company crowned
Preach.
by Dear Kings and Queens.
Okay.
She's also a music programming director for C Tribe,
Okay.
as well as one of the committee in 10 in Calgary. So, without further ado,
Boom. Boom. Boom.
we are going to introduce
Boom, boom.
Adaeze Hubbard to the building.
Okay. Welcome. Oh, she got the team.
You know,
team.
the most Canadian thing.
We got a rep Canada out here, you know.
Yes, sir.
Always gotta have my tea. Thank you guys so much for having me.
No
Nice
problem, no
having you.
problem.
I'm so excited to be here. This is
Nice
actually my first podcast that I'm on. So
Really? Oh, you hear that?
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
the first.
so-
We're the first.
yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Okay. Get it. That's a lesson right there.
Kill.
I know what you go in,
Nah,
man.
no, you know today's not gonna be dissected. I'm sorry. Because of the page she has exposed by IG, I'm gonna say today we're gonna expose her.
Today is exposed.
Hey, it's not gonna be,
Don't worry. Yeah.
it's not kind of exposed. Just letting you guys know. No, no, it's just gonna be dissected, you know, but still exposed.
Dude, we're gonna have to get like some kind of.
Bro, I told you, man. Bro, listen.
I need that.
I'm gonna go to the dollar store today. I'm gonna pick up some plastic knife, not metal, so no one runs away from the channel. So it's gonna go like
I'm
this.
getting metal ones.
Nah, man, nah. You're gonna chase the guest away. Okay, Aquille, you wanna lead the way?
Yes, sir.
I bet.
So, Adaeze, where are you born originally? Are you in Canada or somewhere else?
Yeah. So actually, I'm from Canada.
Okay.
By surprise. Thank you. I'm actually born in Manitoba, Brandon, Manitoba, to be
Okay.
exact. So
Okay.
it's a
True.
little town in Manitoba. Not many people know about it, but I actually heard that they have a pretty good basketball team. So
Okay.
people
Okay.
have heard about them.
Okay.
So, but we moved here when I was about 3 years old.
Now.
Okay.
So I've been in Edmonton here, so that's why I'm so dedicated to the community and the people, because this is my home.
Okay.
that.
Okay. True. Okay. I like that. So Edmonton is your home. So you're used to like all these cold
weather?
weather. This winter, bipolar weather.
You know, I wouldn't say used to it, but yeah, I know it's coming. I'm cold all the time, so I don't know why I keep staying here. It's the people, it's the community. Honestly, that's what it is. So just know,
For real.
Edmonton people, I love you guys so much.
For
Hey, I
real.
like that. I like that.
But yeah, I'm not used to the cold.
It's cold out here.
It is.
It's cold.
Cold.
It's
Yeah.
frigid out here. Well, so Daisy, tell us about your earlier days kind of growing up. Like, where did you go to school? Were you into sports?
Yeah.
So growing up, I've always been like a very outgoing child.
Okay.
But my dad was a part of the Nigerian Association here in the city.
Okay.
So I was always a part of stuff like that. We had like Igbo days, we had Nigerian independence, and I was really into the community. I used to dance as a kid with all my cousins and whatnot.
Okay.
I even took the classes, to learn Igbo.
I
I don't know much, to be honest. My dad makes fun of me all the time, but such is life. But I actually, I lived in Edmonton until I was in grade 7.
Okay.
And then I moved to Sherwood Park, where I currently am. And that was definitely a wake-up call for me, because I actually went to a private Christian school in Edmonton. And so everything, like even like saying like shit and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, like what? And then I'm going to like, we didn't know at the time, but we went to like probably one of the worst like junior highs in Sherwood Park. Like it was like there was some wild kids in there. And so I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, what am I getting myself into? But nonetheless, I made some really good friends and stuff, and Sherwood Park really paved my way. I've always sang also throughout my life. So going into high school, there was actually a program called Creative Music, which actually brought me out to actually perform. Because we'd have shows and whatnot. That's where I started writing music and whatnot. And I actually learned how to play piano. Very simple piano. So please don't come to me and ask to play anything. I know the notes. But
we need some music for the intro. You know,
I can connect you to someone. But yeah, so I grew up in Sherwood Park, and I danced up until university actually.
Oh, true.
So we did like cultural dancing, and what else? I played rugby. I played rugby in high school. That was my thing. I was like not your typical high school student. Like I'd be the one who would be in the sewing room working on my duvet at lunchtime because I was like, I need to get this done. But rugby really, it was my favorite thing. Like people are like, oh yeah, like I feel like you do really good. You know, you look strong, but honestly, I was scared for my life, y'all.
Yo,
I was scared for my life.
I'll be serious. I ain't no joke, man.
Yeah.
They ain't got no equipment out there,
No, there's
man.
nothing. And like, you're getting hit. Like, I would be running, and my coach was like, "How are you so fast?" And I'm like, honestly, I'm running on the field.
Because I don't want to
get. I don't get tackled. Because if I fall, like, it's not an easy fall.
You're running for your life out
know?
there.
But yeah, I love rugby though. It's my favorite sport.
I think I'm down. I like that.
You know.
Yeah,
it was between that and badminton, actually.
Okay,
but
okay.
My shoulders are not equipped. So I chose rugby.
Nice.
But then, from high school, I went to university. I actually started going, I went for my Bachelor of Arts, and I wanted to be a psychologist, actually.
Oh, okay.
And my first semester, I took psychology, and I almost failed, y'all.
Oh,
and
true.
I was like, I don't like science. Like, I don't know why it didn't go into my head that it was gonna have science involved with it.
Yeah.
But if anything, my brain just shuts down.
Wow.
So I was like, maybe not. So my second year, I ended up transferring over to the Bachelor of Commerce degree, and I ended up majoring in business management, which I loved. And I was like, okay, this is what I want, because, even coming out of university, I feel like a lot of us don't know what we're doing when we're in there. But I was like,
100%.
Even if I don't know what I want to do after, the skills that I'm learning and whatnot are really going to help me with whatever I want to do going forward, because I want to be my own business owner and whatnot. I wasn't sure exactly what business or anything at the time, but I was like, I want to be my own boss. So
I like that.
It's actually a smart way to think about it. I actually didn't think about that, because when I went to school, I didn't want to go to school initially. So I was like, I'm just going to take this year off. But my parents were like, nah, you're going to school. I'm like, okay. So I went to school, and then I switched my major every single year. But like what you said though, if I had thought about it like that, I would have probably done it differently, because I would have I don't know where you want to say something, but
I wasn't in fact.
I would have thought of, like, whatever I do,
Yeah.
if I do it and it has the skills that I can apply to life or to whatever I'm going to do,
Yeah.
that would have been fine, So
if I was out there, I like that though. So I'm actually curious. So was it you almost failing? I don't know if you failed or you almost failing that made you switch from science to business, or what exactly triggered it, and what made you actually go for that aspect, business itself? Because you can go for arts, it's different stuff you could have gone for. Why business?
Well, Bachelor of Arts, like, when you finish, you're going to have to go to school again, right? I don't want to, okay? I didn't want to continue going to school. I was even going to go, at a point, I changed it a lot in my head. So I wanted to be a lawyer. So that's why I was also like business management. I become a lawyer. I can open up my own practice, all that stuff. So like whatever I do, it's just going to flow.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed law, but I was like, I like hearing also the thing that woke me up, psychology. I remember first year, teacher's like, yeah, you're going to go, but you're going to be in school for like 13 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sick.
That's
not for me. Like, it's not. I'm like, no. It's not for me. Like, I'm not about that life. I enjoyed school. I had, like, for me, being Nigerian, like, it wasn't a question, am I going to go to school or not? It was just like you waking up in the morning. That's the next step after you go to high school. You go to university.
Yeah, after university, then you have the option to do something else.
Exactly. And so it wasn't ever like, oh, can I drop out or anything? Because I'm just like, I'm going to be a disappointment.
That's not even a thought that crosses it well.
I mean, like, realistically, you have to go to uni. At least get a BSc. And afterwards, whatever you want to do, as long as you're making enough money that you don't have to ask them for money, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But you got to get your BSc. That one is a major. If you don't get it, nah.
This one,
cut out. That's what my dad always says. Like, I'm just so happy you went. I'm like, I had to. And honestly, the stuff that I learned in university, like, I'm very thankful for it, even though it stressed me out like crazy. Yeah. I'm happy I'm done. I'm happy.
So I have one question. For me, technically, it's really kind of in between. But when you went to school, what you actually learned to school, are you applying it to your day-to-day life? Because, like, I don't know if it's the same in business.
That's good.
Because, like, science, for example, like, if you want to be a doctor, you need to go to school, this kind of stuff. But if you're trying to be let me see. There's some skills that you can learn on your own, like programming, for example. If you want to be a programmer, you can learn on your own. You don't have to go to school for it. And sometimes what you actually do in school, you really don't apply it. Like maths, most of the time when you're doing maths, you actually don't apply it to your day-to-day life. So I'm trying to know if it applies to the same way in business. When you learn some laws or whatever, like, does it apply in what you're doing now or no?
Well, honestly, because there's so many different aspects, like, I'm very happy with the degree that I took because look at the world now. Like when I was in university, social media marketing, like that wasn't a big thing. True. Like a part of me was like, I wish I would have taken marketing, but I was like, I'm not really interested in that. Now I am. But the things that I learned, like time management, even like I had like a consulting course and like I love consulting. Like that was probably like my favorite course that I did. We got to like meet up with a business and like consult, you know, where they can do better and whatnot and really get like hands-on, and I loved that. There was a lot of things that I definitely learned that I don't like I don't remember, I don't use or anything like that. But I feel like there's a lot of things like time management and just like sticking to a schedule and whatnot, like stuff like that. And then with business management, how to even like communicate with people, how to talk. And even like I'm shy. Like a lot of people are like, what? But no, I am shy. But being in university, especially when you're in business, you do like a presentation like every week. And it's like, I remember this one presentation was like 2 hours. 2 hours of standing up there. I was like, oh my gosh, here I am shaking. Me and my whole team were shaking. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But the more I did it, I was just like, okay, I have to get this done when I'm done. So now I can get up in front of people and I can talk. And, you know, even though I may be like shaking in my boots, I can fake it till I make it, you know? So I feel like there's a lot of things you can learn, but it also depends on what your plans are for the future and how you decide to take the information that they give you. So
was that a 4-year degree for your what was the most difficult thing that you say you would have experienced school wise?
Honestly, the last year of university, I feel like, I don't know about anyone else, I feel like I've heard this, but it kills you. Like it's too much. Like assignment after assignment. It's like I have 6 20-page papers due at the end of the week. Like how is that possible? Like every teacher thinks that's all you have. Like that's your only course. And like I would even like I like tell my teachers, I'm like, are you serious? Like, you know, like I like in order for me to finish a 4-year degree on time, I have to take 5 classes a semester. Like, and that's not easy. And a lot of people don't have the finances. They don't have like the capacity to, because they have to work. And I was working too throughout university. So I'm like, it's a lot, but honestly, I won't lie. I slacked a little bit the last year because I was like, you know what? I made it this far. I know what I got to do to pass.
I mean, like most of the time when you're in your final year, you're like, okay, I pushed through 3 years. I'm done. Yeah. Well, that's why, and it's tough. The final semester is tough. I don't know if you remember, like back home, like where I was running mad. It's not it. It's not it. And those guys, they actually don't care. Like they actually don't. Like, okay,
I think they enjoy. Some of them enjoy it low key because they.
Because like I remember, this is sad. I remember. I think it was one of my. I can't remember who said it. I think it was the instructor of one of my friends, and I was like, hopefully, I don't see any one of you next semester. So like you're in your final semester, final year, and it's like, hopefully, I don't see any one of you coming back to take the same semester. And I was like, what the heck? I know. But honestly, it's fun though. Like it kind of shows that at that time, the final semester shows, or final year, resilience. You actually push through, because actually school itself is not fun. Would I recommend it to anybody? Honestly, no. That's my perspective. Because you're in a day of YouTube University.
Yeah.
It's true. You can learn so much.
Honestly, like you can learn everything. Like everything that I learned, I could definitely go on the internet or even just like go and find my own experiences. Like there's so many organizations you can even join, like, and they'll teach you all these things instead of spending how much money on university and whatnot. But I'm thankful for it and whatnot. I remember my first year of university looking at other students in their last year, and I'm like, why don't they care? Like, are you kidding me? Like, we have this due. Why aren't you in class? Like, I can't even believe this. And then I got there, and I'm like, I get it.
I understand. No, that's no, I feel that for sure. Well, I mean, I don't feel the last part because I mean, I didn't finish school, but like, you know, to that point, I get you.
No, school is not it.
No,
it's not it. No, honestly, it's not it. Application is the key thing.
That's true.
Because I know so many people that went to school and they're done with school and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Or they get into the industry and they're like, damn, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And then they settle.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So
actually, that's a good transition. So you said that after you finished university now, right? Mm-hmm. You went and go tested the field, see what it was like outside there.
Tested the water.
Yeah, and every single job told me I don't have experience. Like I'm like, what was I supposed to do? I'm in school. You want me to have a degree, and then I get my degree, but then you're telling me like, what kind of job am I supposed to have here? And I was working like at a cafe throughout my university, so I'm like, I'm gonna put this on my resume that I can train people. I can do all this. I'm like telling like my managers, they're like incredible people, and I was like, this is what I'm doing, like, and still I couldn't find anything, and I'm like, this is too much, like, and so I got, what was my first job? I was a data entry person at an electrical company, and it was, oh my gosh, my first job in the workforce, y'all, like, it was not for me. Like, basically I experienced it all in that, like, like the Alberta, like when you work in the trades, like the racism of it, even like just the treatment of how they treat women and stuff. Like, I experienced it all because like the cafe I worked at, we were a local business. Like I always work with local businesses. And the owner was like a husband and wife, and the mom was the owner. So it's like women ran. They were Asian. So it's like there was diversity. Like they were really big on diversity. So I'm going and I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't the reality. Like this isn't how it is. And like, I got laid off from my first job.
How many months?
I was there for like 5-6 months. Sorry. And I was like, I was doing the most, and they set me up, like, I was doing all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, Sabrina, like, that's my name that I go by at work, guys, Sabrina, that's my legal name, but they're like, yeah, Sabrina, can you finish this data sheet that you did? And I just felt it in my heart. I was like, yo, these people are playing with me. I deleted formulas. I was so cheap. And then he came and sat down. He's like, yeah, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. Damn. And I'm like,
he said that?
Yeah. And damn. I just looked, and I like in situations like that, I just smiled because I'm just like, okay. Savage. And I like, they know I just moved out on my own and everything like that. And so it was really hard for me. Yeah.
I know that feeling. Don't worry.
Right.
Yeah. I know that. That exactly how you felt. Trust me. I know how you feel. So. Yeah.
They're not loyal to you. No. They don't care. Like, you're just a number.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's harder to like
they care about you until like you can't help them no more.
Anymore.
Yeah, and then like when you can't,
you got it all set up.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good. Yeah.
We're gonna hire someone else and pay them double.
Yeah.
So I have a question. How long? I want to know. I want to see if it's a common trend. How long did you take it to find a job after school? And if you can remember, how many applications did you do?
I did a lot of it. I don't know how many, but I know it was a lot. Okay. But I did find a job like quite soon after. Like I'm someone who like I have to work.
Oh, you're lucky.
And like my job, the cafe I was working at, like I was gonna stay there until I found something, but they actually changed ownership. Yeah. So I was already in the process of like looking for a new job and whatnot. And so I was just like, okay, you know what? This pays me more. This is a good start and whatnot. I can get a little bit more experience, and whatnot. And but it was a lot because actually I was in an accident also. Oh, wow. I graduated in May, and then in June I was in an accident. Which really like stopped me for a minute and like was like, whoa, like life can just be gone like that. Like if that, like, and I was really low and whatnot at the time. But
if you don't mind me asking, what happened in your accident?
I was driving. I came from my friend's house. I'm driving home, living my best life, y'all. It was sunny. I'm just driving down in the residential areas. And then this lady just came out of the alley. She didn't see me, she said. And she just hit me so hard, my car stopped in its tracks. And I honestly didn't realize it was in an accident. I thought I was in a movie because there was smoke, the airbags went off. And I'm like, whoa, I just hopped out of the car. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I'm looking, my ears are ringing. I'm like, what is going on right now? But it's crazy because as soon as I stepped out, there was a guy right there being like, are you okay? You need to do this. He helped me with everything. I was like, wow, God is good. I've never been in an accident. I've never been in anything like that. So to have someone right there, I didn't even have to think, you need to call your parents, do that. I'll do this for you. I was just so annoyed that day because the lady's there, she's crying. I'm like, you hit me. My car's broken. I'm crying. Her boyfriend was consoling her, rubbing her. I'm just standing there with my arms crossed. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, no, because no, right. it was a moment. But that was actually the thing that made me stop because I was in bed for a few days. And I was in a lot of pain, and that's where I was like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? What's my plan here? And that's when I actually started drafting up my idea for Exposed. So that's where it came to light. So, despite the situation.
Yeah.
Cream.
No, listen. No. Not today.
She's the cream.
We did this last episode. Not today. Before we dive into the what's it called? The Exposed YAG drafting. My question is, how are you after losing your first job? I really want to know how was your mind?
Yeah, what was your mindset
y'all.
So even to add on to his question too is, what was your mindset not only after losing that job, but also getting injured as well?
Well, after losing the job, I was I had a breakdown, y'all. I went to my car, I cried, I went home. Honestly, it was thing after thing. I just moved down to my apartment. I lived on the north side in Clairview, if y'all know. I was I didn't want to put Clairview in that area. So I was like, let me try it out. Yeah, y'all. No, as a woman living on my own, I would not do it again. But that week I also found out my building had bed bugs. So I couldn't even be at home. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was I don't have a job. Now I have this place. I have bed bugs. And I can't stay at my place. I can't even just be at peace in my home with my job loss.
Struggle is real,
even to go to my parents, they're you can't bring anything because I don't want you to bring
bed bugs.
And I'm I get it, but I'm I don't even know what to do right now. And then I had to figure out how to get out of that apartment, but I'm how do I go get a new apartment when I don't even have a job to then put down a security deposit, all this stuff. And so I actually ended up getting a job at a call center.
Okay.
Y'all, it was
That was not it.
No. It was doing surveys to people in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
So it was definitely different. But it made some money, and I actually ended up bartending and whatnot. So I got my tips, and I ended up being able to move into a beautiful, beautiful place on Saskatchewan Drive. Which I don't to this day. I'm it's all God, because the fact that I was even able to do that within a couple weeks from not having a job and being what am I gonna do, 100%. To then moving forward. I'm just someone, I can't just sit there and be in that situation and allow it to consume me. I'm I need to get out of this. I cannot, I hate feeling this way. I need to get out of it. And so I just grinded, was looking for jobs and all that stuff. And I ended up actually getting my job at the promotional company that I was working at for the past 3 years. So that was good. Things really started looking up from that. So I feel I just needed a little bit of rumble jumble to get me uncomfortable so I could actually get to where I need to be. But then from the accident, after the accident, I was just this is wild, because I didn't tell anyone about the accident. A lot of people didn't even know I was in an accident.
Because you didn't have to go to the hospital or anything like that, right?
I went to the hospital and stuff, but I didn't have to stay there or anything. They just checked me out and whatnot. And I'm not someone, I'm not going to post it up on Snapchat or whatever. Like, I'm not someone, I don't want sympathy. Like, let me just deal with this in the moment and like move forward and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, what are my next moves? And I just laid there and I was like, man, this sucks. Like, this really sucks right now. And that's why I was like, okay, let me lighten up my spirit and really use this time that I'm here laying in bed. I'm relaxing, doing my thing. Let me actually make something out of it. Instead, I'm looking back on the situation. I'm like, I laid in bed for 3 days for my accident. Like, no, let me make something out of this situation. So,
I like that mindset, because you could. It's very easy for you to be like, yo, you know what? I'm mash up now, so I can't do anything.
That's
right?
True.
But instead, you're like, nah, yo.
No excuse.
You made it, and you made something happen, right? Because even for me, in my injury, I think that's something that helped me. Also, because like my little brother, but that helped me because I'm like, no, I gotta do something. I gotta do something, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So you said that. So from that incident, it created the avenue for you to start thinking about exposed creatives.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that. So like, what was the process of that? Of like actually figuring out what exposed creatives is and what creatives?
Yeah.
So basically, like, as you said earlier, like, I do music. So I was like, I want to keep doing music. Like, I put my music on hold all throughout university because I'm like, I just want to get this done. Like, I see people in university, they're doing 4-year degrees, they're there for 8 years. I'm like, not me. I'm out. Like, I'm out. Like, at that point, like, I'm done. So I was like, no, I can't do that. And so I'm like, okay, what can I do? Like, I really want to be happy with what I'm doing, like, and actually be like, I want to put in the work and I want to learn. And so I was like, okay, I love doing music. I haven't done that. I don't really know where to even find stuff to do music-wise, or even where the community is in the city.
Yeah.
So why not just create it? Like, and I do business management. So, okay, how can I combine these two things? And I was like, okay, expose, like, a connecting point for local creatives and businesses to connect, grow, and collaborate, because I wanted to meet creatives and entrepreneurs. Like, I wanted to perform, I want to see other performances, and I want to create the opportunities for myself, basically, because it also came from like, okay, I don't have experience, I can also make experience through expose and whatnot. So with just coming out of university, I'm like, okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is write a business plan. And so that's what I did. I wrote a business plan of what I wanted to do. I drafted it. And then I just started emailing, like Googling venues around the city and just emailing them.
Cold call.
And like going and chatting with them. And like, I met so many amazing venue owners and whatnot. And I actually ended up connecting with Chris from the Church of John downtown. Incredible guy. Like, he
shout out to the boy Chris.
Huge shout out to Chris, because he really made like expose come to life. Like, he helped create a space for us, and like, even just like the finances, like, if anyone has put on an event, they know how much it is, even just to rent out a venue space. Like, that's a lot of money that you have to put forward. And it's like, I'm using my own money. It's not like when you're starting out, like, you don't, even though, I'm like, I want to have a not-for-profit, in order to like get that status, it's like a year process to go through and stuff. And the application you have to fill out, all that stuff. So I'm like, what do? I don't have the money and stuff like that. So I was like really trying to find things that were not too costly. And he was amazing. Like, they gave us a space. We just had to pay for like the green room and stuff like that. And then obviously like bring our equipment and all that good stuff. But my team member Naomi, her dad is actually a pastor of a church. So it's actually incredible, like, how we just all came together and like we are able to get all of our equipment and whatnot. Her brother Prime is also like a DJ, so we had our DJ. So it was basically like we all grew up together and we're like, okay, let's do this. Like, even like, it's amazing. Like, I just put out a call on Instagram. I'm like, who wants to be a part of the team? I met so many people I don't even know. I was like, I'm just gonna host a meeting at the library, and whoever comes. And that's kind of just how it started. Like, just really putting myself out there and just looking for those opportunities and looking for those people who had the same vision.
Yeah, you were chasing the opportunities. You were not waiting for the opportunities to come to you.
You know, got to put in the work.
Hey, that's a bar right there. Put in the work. So like, how was it during that experience of like putting yourself, because you have to really put yourself out of your comfort zone. So like, how did you just do it like right away, just like that? Or did you have to like kind of build up to kind of putting yourself in that uncomfortable place?
Honestly, I truly, like, in order for you to grow, you need to be uncomfortable. Like, growth is not comfortable. Like, when you think about it, you wanna be wise. Like, you have to be unknowing. You want to be strong. You have to be weak in some sense. Like, it's not like you're strong. Okay, I can get stronger, but that means you're
weak.
lacking somewhere. You need to go out. So I'm like, I just need to go out and do this. Like, I can't wait on anyone or anything. Like, I'm already 4 years out of high school. Like, I just finished university. Like, what else am I gonna wait for at the end of the day?
That's true.
Like, this is my opportunity. I'm like, let me just go for it. Worst thing that's gonna happen is it doesn't work, and I move forward and think of the next thing that I'm gonna do. But I'd rather not look back and be like, oh, I should have done this, or oh, what if I did this or whatnot. I don't like doubting or regretting anything. So
I like that. I like that.
You don't like the what ifs.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So that wasn't the only thing that you created, right? So you also, as you said in the intro, serial entrepreneur. You know, not like a one-inch entrepreneur. Yeah. So you started doing other things as well. So you also did Dear Kings and Queens, right? So talk a little bit about Dear Kings and Queens and maybe like how they're integrated with Exposed, as well as Crowned by Dear Kings and Queens.
Definitely. So basically, Dear Kings and Queens, I was doing it before I even realized it. Okay. I was like, when I think I created Dear Kings and Queens, the actual page, in 2018. So actually the year I finished university as well. Okay. And I was like, oh, wow, Adaeze, like, where did you get this? Like, and then like, I look back at memories and I was like, I was doing this, but I was doing it over like Snapchat and stuff. I just do like little like recordings and stuff like that and post it, because like at the times where I was at my lowest, I didn't have that like that reassurance or like that motivation and stuff. So I'm like, I gotta be that for myself. Like I need to give that for myself. And if I'm in this situation, there's no way that I'm the only person that's been feeling like this. 100%. So if I can go out and if I need this message, there must be one other person that can also use this. 100%. So let me just share what I needed to hear, so maybe someone else can also benefit from it. So, and even like further back, I was like, I actually wanted to be like a pastor for a minute. And so I'd like be writing my like sermons and stuff with my like worship songs and all that. And I was like doing messages on like Facebook. And I was like, okay, let me make a page from this. Like, let me just start putting this out there, like whatever the case may be. And I just started posting like my videos and whatnot. And I was like, okay, let me add a little bit of something different. Let me put some little quotes that I make up, and just really just put out, you know, that motivation, that positivity, and that love that I also needed. And that, you know, I wasn't necessarily like feeling like I was getting, because I was like, oh, I was also like very to myself, like I don't like telling people too much about what's going on. So it wasn't like people really knew what was going on with me. So I was like, okay, let me put this out here. And I just started doing that. And I was like, there were so many times where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, is this even like worth it? Is anyone? And then that exact day I would get a message from some random person following my page and like, I like never stop doing what you're doing. Like, thank you so much. Like, you did this for me. And I was like, okay, God, you want me to keep doing this? Like, okay. And then, like I said earlier, I actually went into the promotional industry. Okay. So I was working with a lot of like high level clients. But something that I noticed is local businesses, smaller companies, if they want like one custom product or anything basically under like 12, there really isn't anywhere for you to go, and it's very, very expensive. So I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do here? And actually, I was in another accident in the November of 2018. So I had 2 accidents. Okay. And the second one, I was driving to work, y'all. I was driving to work, and this guy, I was stopped at the light. I was living my best life, y'all.
I see you're always living your best life when you get hit.
You know, I'm sitting there at the red light, not thinking anything. You know, you're just chilling at a red light, waiting for it to go green. Bam.
From behind?
Yep, from behind. And it was like November, so it wasn't too snowy at the time. But this guy comes out, he's like, "Oh, it's ice," and I'm like, "There's no ice. Like there was no ice on the road. Like you were on your phone or something." And I was so cheesed because I'm like, "No, I was just starting to feel better from my first accident. I was going to physio like 3-4 days a week.
Yeah.
Like I had a massage like every second week. Like that was my life. Work, physio, exposed, all that stuff, and that's it. Like I didn't have time for anything else, and I was like, this is so much. And now I'm getting hit again, and that one was the one that really messed me up, even though it was not as bad as the other one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So how did that mess you up? Because how did that mess you up? I'll ask you first. How did
was it in more ways than just like physical?
The physical, that's what I'm trying to say.
I would say like it was mostly physical, like, but then because of the physical, it messed with my mental because like I was in a lot of pain. Like my hip is what was affected. I actually ended up getting a tear in my right hip. And so like I danced, like I did all these things. Like I love dancing. Like I love going out for walks and stuff. And like to walk was so painful. Like all these things, like even just to stand, I'm always standing, even work, I'm standing. And just to stand for longer than like 10 minutes, I'm in excruciating pain. And I'm like, oh man, like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, as soon as I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, like,
right back.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, like that's a lot. And so it messed with my mental in the sense where I'd be in pain. Like there would be times where I'd be like, I'd have to stop what I'm doing and lay on the floor, and I would just be in so much pain I couldn't even move. And I'd just be laying on the ground. I'm like, okay, waiting for the spasm to get out of my body, just waiting, like taking time. And then they told me I've never had surgery in my life, never had a broken bone, nothing. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to hip surgery. You're gonna have to have hip surgery. I'm like, what? I'm 23 years old and I have to have hip surgery? I'm a grandma. Like, am I a granny? Like, what? Like, I can't, like, did I drink too much tea and biscuits? Like, come on. Like, what is going on? But yeah, so it really played with my mental because I'm like, I was also looking to get out of the job that I was in. But they're like, oh, you're going to be having hip surgery. And I'm like, I can't go and get a job because I'm going to have to be off of work for like 2 weeks, if not more. And like no job, like I was looking for jobs and like, no, we can't bring you on because we can't give you that time off and stuff like that. Like, and that's completely understandable. So I was like stuck in the job that I had and whatnot, which was like, that messed with my mental too, because I was not happy there at all. Like,
so, hard to work somewhere you're not happy about it. It's big.
Fucks your mental.
Yeah, and so it was crazy, but I ended up having hip surgery in 2019, October 2019.
Okay.
And yeah, it was an experience, y'all, because I came out of hip surgery and I was pretty sick, and I thought because I don't take medicine and whatnot, and so I was like, okay, it must be the medicine, like the morphine. I'm like begging them, please stop injecting me. I'm like, I can't. I'm so sick right now. Like, please stop. And then like a few days, I'm like, I remember I walked into Walmart, y'all. And Tim Hortons just got, I rolled in on the wheelchair because I was rolling in the wheelchair thing. But I looked up and it was like Tim Hortons just came out with that sick.
Wait, sorry, hold on one sec. Were you were in the thing that has a basket like that? I thought she was pushing the trolley, but then I thought about it. I was like, wait, no. Oh,
I just had surgery, so I was in my thing, and I was with my mom, and I looked, and they had like the hot dog and the wrap with the lettuce and stuff, and y'all, I was ready to be sick right there, and I was like, yo, my mom's like, you're pregnant, and I'm like, don't ever say that to me, okay? Don't ever speak that into my life. Like my life, I was making money, y'all, at that time. Like my life, I was like, okay, no, this is good. Like this is where God wants me to be. All that. Lo and behold, y'all, I was pregnant, you know. So
at Walmart, did you puke or what?
No, thank goodness I didn't.
Okay.
I was able to hold it in. Like I'm also someone like I don't like putting myself, like if I have to puke it, like that's way worse than actually puking. Like I have to hold it in. I have to be strong. But yeah, I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just had hip surgery. And like, even they asked me, they're like, is there a chance that you can be pregnant? I'm like, no. Like immediately I'm like, no. Like, no, there's no way. No. Yeah. So that was like how everything, like it was like event after event after event. I'm like, okay, light at the end of the tunnel. Bam. Okay, you have to switch up your way of doing things, Adaeze. What's your next move and stuff? But all I can say is God has provided for me through it all, and so I just give thanks to him for absolutely everything. Like all he's provided for me and like for my family and all that. Like, yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was needed.
So question. So you said, because you said earlier, right, that you think that being uncomfortable and facing obstacles and struggles is when you grow the most, right?
Yeah.
So you just went through like a whole bunch of obstacles in that period of time, right? Yeah. So what would you say were maybe like the 2 or 3 biggest lessons that you learned from that time?
Yeah, well, basically with all that, like, you can literally get like everything that comes to me, I know that I can get through. Like every single thing, like God's got me. Like there's not one time where he has like let me down. Like through it all, like even in times where I'm like, I've let myself down, he has never let me down. And like just like I said, he's been providing for me. And like that's even how like I was at home and I'm like, okay, I'm going on maternity leave. COVID's here. What am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I have dear kings and queens. I'm not someone who can just sit there and be on maternity leave and just sit at home and be like, okay, you know, I'm always on the go. I'm always doing something. And that's actually how Crowned came about, is through that. Is I'm like, I want to be able to like provide for my kid. Like that was always something that I said growing up. Like everything I did down to going to school, even though I'm like, I don't know when I'm having kids or whatever, but everything I'm doing is for my kids and my family in the future. And so I was like, this is just all stuff to prepare me for it. That, so I'm like, you know what? When I look now back at the situation, like this is exactly what I needed. I was in a job that I hated. Like I was like, I would like be like angry every single day. Like every single day I'd be angry going to work. And like there was no way out. Like there was no way for me to get out. And then COVID happened. And I'm like, okay, man, I would have been stuck there. I wouldn't have been able to find another job. And it's like, I got pregnant literally when I had him, when I was about to go on maternity leave. Before that, we actually started working remote. Everyone started working from home. And I'm like, perfect. Okay. I don't have to be in the office around these people. You know what I mean? And so like it worked to that. I'm like, okay, I just have to focus. I have till this time, till like June, I have to stay focused. And then I can go and make my next steps. And so I'm like, you know what? No, this prepared me because even throughout it all, like I have FOMO, y'all. I have FOMO. So I have fear of missing out if no one knows what that is. So it was really hard. I was like, oh man, like I want to still, like all these events are happening. I want to go out and stuff, but I was able to go up to events. I didn't even start showing that I was pregnant until I was like 5 months. So I was still able to go and do like the events with C Tribe and all that kind of stuff, which I'm very thankful about. But just going into that, and then I got on maternity leave and I'm like, okay, I have a year to really figure out what I want to do with my life here, where I'm at home. I don't have to worry about like, oh, this, that. Like I'm literally just focused on, okay, my future for me and my son. And like, that's why I truly believe like he's my biggest blessing. Like he was my complete game changer, like the best thing that's ever happened to me. Because the way that God works, even though I'm like, I wasn't ready. No, God's like, no, this is exactly what you need. You need it and stuff. And it was like that extra push to keep going. Like, don't give up. Like, just keep doing what you're doing because, you know, there's greater plans. Like there's something bigger than this. Like this is temporary. This moment that you're in, these feelings that you're experiencing, it's all temporary. Like at the end of the day, emotions are temporary. Even happiness. That's a temporary thing. You could be happy, next minute you're mad. Like, but I'm like, so I just kept reminding myself, okay, right now, okay, I'm feeling this way. But this isn't it for me. This is not it. I'm not settling for this and stuff, and just constantly moving forward. And so there was so many amazing things that came out of just all those situations and all those obstacles and whatnot. And I don't believe in setbacks. I believe in setups.
Jeez.
So, you know,
jam drop right there.
You know, like you're always being set up for what's to come, because really, if I would have skipped those things and then I would have, okay, now I'm pregnant, it's like all the stuff that prepared me for like those hardships, like I wouldn't have known that I can make it through. I wouldn't have known that how can I provide for my child? Like I would have had all these things in my head, like how do I start a business? How do I do this? But every single thing leading up has prepared me for this exact moment. And I know that like all of us, if we look back at those defining moments that were like our hardest times, you can see how it actually set you up for what was to come.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true. Yeah. That's actually very true.
Even with kids too. I've heard that sometimes when you have a kid, it changes your life completely.
Yeah, more of a motivation in your grind and everything. It's different, yo.
Because like, yo, so I think we're same thing with Tiffany too.
Yeah, you can't play no more, yo. Hustle 24/7.
I got someone little I gotta take care of. So like, you're on
your grind changes, yo. Changes.
No, honestly, even the way you think, even the way you react to things, like I like that's like even through that situation is when I really dug deep and I'm like, okay, where are my flaws? Like, how can I be my best self? Because there's no way that I'm this perfect angel that's walking, you know, just adding joy to everyone every single time. Like, I have my flaws. I have my things I need to work on. And I'm like, I need to figure that out before my little comes here, because kids catch on everything. Pick up everything. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to be my best self so that, you know, I'm walking proof that he can do anything that he needs to, like anything that he wants to do. Like you're capable of anything that you set your mind to when you're moving with God and stuff. And so I wanted to show him that through everything that I do and whatnot. And so, like I said, it was a setup, y'all.
Setup. Okay. No setbacks. Just setups. Just come setups. Right?
That's a new bar.
So, one question that I have for you, just from previous talks that we've had, right? With you saying that you wanted to constantly move in love, right? That's something that's really big for you. So, at what times do you feel like most loved in your life?
Time where I feel most loved would probably... There's a lot of times where I feel like the love, like I feel like I get it a lot from like community members and whatnot. Like, of course, my family and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of the times we kind of take that love for granted and stuff because it's something that's just there. You know what I mean?
You expect it.
Exactly. But like just from the community, like just from people who have come up to me and been like, wow, like, you're doing great things. Like, I hope you know, like, don't stop. Like that, where I'm like, people you want to like invest in my dream. Like you want to come and like help me make this possible and stuff. And even like, like the Chris from Church of John, like people like that, like even my manager at the cafe and stuff like that. Like we still talk to this day. Like he created all of our first posters and stuff. Like, and I didn't have no money for all of this. And like just showing, like seeing how people like want to come and like have me included and like, you know, want to invest in my dreams and stuff like that. And like, they're like, no, like even like when people reach out and they're like, do you want to come on this? Like, can you perform here? Like, I don't know. Like that's like, it doesn't happen. It happens, but it, doesn't happen as much as I'd like to, guys. But like just when people come out and they're like, I thought of you, like, you know, when people think of you, they're like, I want you to come on, like
something,
you know?
Good.
Yeah, like it feels
nice.
Good.
Feel nice.
See what I'm doing, this hard work that's true. But even like down to like my friends, like my support system, like my best friend, Casey, like he's been there through it all, like through all my obstacles, my hardships and stuff. And like, that's just like genuine, pure love, like from your support system, from your friends and stuff. Like, I'm so, so grateful, because there's so many times where like I want to give up, but it's like, that's when, you know, those people come in and they give you the love that you aren't necessarily giving yourself
100%.
And whatnot. And so, God is good, y'all.
For real.
God is good.
For real. Okay. So, well, just talk about your businesses and like maybe what's upcoming right now. Like what you have next.
At your table, shout yourself
this is your talk your ish, man.
Y'all, we got a lot of stuff. Like, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I'm a part of a lot of things. But the biggest thing that I'm working on actually right now is with the Sea Tribe Festival team. We're actually planning our music festival for November this year in Edmonton, which I am super freaking pumped about, y'all, because I've actually been on the Sea Tribe team for 3 years now, and this year I'm actually the director of music programming, so I get to get really hands-on with the music scene and whatnot. So we're planning that, and we're actually starting a music competition at the beginning of September, so pretty soon, next week, y'all. So make sure you guys go check out Sea Tribe X Music.
Boop, boop, boop. Check that out.
For Crowned, I'm always working on new designs and whatnot. That's always something that I'll be working on. I was actually in the Aphrodisiac market this past weekend, so just trying to get out in the community and like putting it out there, because Crowned, you know, I always tell everyone it's that extra layer to remind you of how great you already are. So I just want to really push that out and get that out as much as possible, so you know, people can feel the love, be reminded of how great they are, how capable they are, how powerful they are every single day. And then also just working with like businesses on their custom merch and all that stuff. I'm loving it. So, you know, I'm always going to be doing that. Dear Kings and Queens, I'm actually looking to do a little something, you know. I haven't talked much about it. You guys get the first scoop. I'm going to be starting up my coaching business here soon. So I'm going to be having some courses and whatnot that's going to be available to anyone who's just basically ready to realize their royalty, and really just ready to open up themselves to their best possible self. And they're done living, you know, the life that they have been. They're done feeling like, you know, they can't move forward, or they're stuck in a cycle or whatnot. Like, it's time to break the chains. It's time to break those generational change that are in everybody's lives.
Those
you
are
know?
the lines you just said. The church line.
You know, it really is.
How do you say
Break
that?
the generation.
Breaking every chain, breaking every generational curses, every
break every chain.
But yeah, no, honestly. And then with Exposed, we still have Exposed Weekly going. We actually just had an episode with Aquille this week, which was super, super awesome. So we're going to be having...
okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, finish, and then I have something to ask you.
Okay. But yeah, so we'll be having more episodes there. We're actually planning an event coming up, and we want to start having things going again with our exposed showcases that we were having before pre-COVID.
And what do those kind of entail?
So basically, it's just an evening where creatives and entrepreneurs can come, connect, collaborate, and grow together. So we usually have a showcase. We have creative, so it's not just music. There's dancers, we've had painters, we've had spoken word, like basically any type of creative you can think of, even if like fashion designers, all that kind of stuff. And then we have vendors that come and set up and basically showcase what they are doing in the community, because at the end of the day, like, my thing is, what if me as a musician, if I want to put out a song, I need a producer, I need a studio to go and record. I'm going to need to get a photographer to get, you know, my art, or a designer. If I want a music video, I'm gonna have to find a videographer. But then I need my makeup done, so I need a makeup artist. Like, there's so many things that you need, and it's deeper than just music. Like, everyone's connected on the creative side to the business side. So if there's a way that we can show each other, okay, we're all here, let's boost up our economy, let's boost up our businesses, so that we can all grow together. Because Edmonton, like, everyone says, Deadmonton, like, I used to think that way too, but it's because like, Edmonton, you have to really be tapped in. You have to really look for the places that things are happening. It's definitely much better than it was a few years ago. A lot of people know more about what's going on, but there's still like a little bit of separation within the community. And so I was like, I want to bring everyone together, like a place where everyone can come together, connect, and like the connections that are made at these showcases, like, I just love to see it. It's my favorite thing to do, because it's like, okay, there was a performer here and they met a business owner. Now they're collabing in some type of way. I'm like, that's dope. Like, that's amazing. And it's deeper because we're uplifting the community. We're putting money back in our pockets, you know, and creating a name for ourselves. So yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
What's your I know my question, because my question that I want to ask you is, because you see you have an affirmation apparel, right?
Yeah.
So Ori is hating on my affirmation of the cream. I don't understand why he doesn't like it, because now I want to ask an expert. Okay, listen, I want to ask an expert in the affirmation lane. You know,
I don't hate the belief behind it.
You know, I broke it down, huh?
I told you, man. Listen, I don't hate the belief behind the cream. No, I agree with you on the mind behind that saying. It's just a word, man. If you find a better word, bro.
Like what? It's cream. You gotta have. I'm not lotion. I'm cream.
No, honestly, all I think of is that what was her name? There was that Nigerian girl who came out with that song, "The Cream of the Crop." Remember?
You see, I'm gonna go look for that now because it's gonna be my theme song.
It was trending. It was
cream of the crop. Hey,
yeah, it was a. You'll listen to it.
I give up, man.
Listen,
take the cream.
Listen, I'm gonna break down cream for you guys soon, but I'll give you the first word. C is consistency is key. Just saying. No, listen, you think the cream is just the cream? The cream is deep, man. This is a deep bowl of cream. It's not just like a surface level cream.
What's your own saying? So him is the cream. Do you have any?
Honestly, I feel like
you should. This is your time to put in some of your
honestly,
slang. You know,
I know. Like my words are a little bit different. Like
wowza
nowza. I say wowza nowza. Like that's like wow. Like I just say some weird stuff. Like I don't know how I come up with it. Like I say stuff like okie dokie artichokey. You know, all that stuff. Like basically like. I guess I talk like a mom, but before I was even a mom, I've been saying this stuff. But I'm like, oh my freaking goodness! Like, I don't know. Yeah.
One thing I also want to know is, I talked to you before, and you said that there's a difference between 1% and a Nigerian 1%. Like, I don't know if that's something that you guys are. I want to know what the difference is. You know, between the normal 1% and the Nigerian 1%.
Nigerian 1% is 100% all the time. You know, you always have to be giving 110%. You know, if you're not, like, it's like,
especially when you know the way to go about it. Yeah. If you're confused, you might be going off or not. But when you know that, okay, this is the way, my God, man, there's no left, there's no right, bro. It's a straight route. You don't move.
That's a bar low key. I told you, man. This guy, the cream, my boy Fab. But what's our drum roll question?
Yeah, you probably know this question already. What is your definition of the grind?
Man, the definition of the grind.
Theory.
Oh, the theory of the.
You know,
what is the theory of the grind?
It's been a long week. I'm sorry. This guy got me working from Sunday to Sunday.
Hey, 7 to 7. 24/7.
That's the question.
I would say my theory to the grind is something that I actually discovered recently, and my thing is to move with love. Period. Like that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like when you move with love, everything that is meant for you is going to come to you.
Okay.
And everything that's not will move away, because you know the people who are hating, they're not gonna want you to love them. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, okay, this is not worth it. Like all they're doing, I'm coming. Like imagine you go to someone, you're like, blah blah blah. You're getting mad at them, and they're like, I love you. Like. It's okay. Like you need a minute. Like clearly you're going through something. Like people don't just come at you to just come at you. There's something that's happening internal, like that they are going through. So when you realize that, like I'm sure we've all had those moments where we've reacted out of love, and someone has shown love, or maybe not, but we know like, oh, I shouldn't have I shouldn't have acted that way with that person, or I should have gone differently, but I allowed like my external situations get the best of me and like seep into my other relationships or whatever I'm doing. But when you know, like, to move with love, like nothing can touch you. Like if you know, okay, this person's coming at me, and even if someone calls you the worst name, you're like, that has nothing to do with me. Like, there's nothing to do with me. Like, I love myself. I am loved by the greatest love of all. So it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, what's for me is always going to be brought to me.
True.
And so I don't need to worry. And like, yeah, like, even though this is something that I'm still working on, y'all, so don't think that I mastered it. I just know what it is now, and I have to keep reminding myself of it. So it's just something that I'm always working on, is to move with love, like showing love to everyone, because at the end of the day, what you put out is also what you're going to receive.
True.
That's very true.
And so at the end of the day, if someone comes to me, they're not going to, like, there's a lot of people who like moved from me because I'm like, I don't think the same way, you know. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to be, you know, right or to be wrong or anything. Like, I'm here to understand. Like, I want to understand you. Like, I truly believe that everybody deserves to be loved, like, to the fullest. Everybody deserves love, joy, and peace and abundance. But in order to experience that, you have to love yourself first. And stuff. That's true. And you have to even know what love is.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's something that I've been really deep diving into, and the way that I have been doing that is with God, because God is the greatest love of all. God is love
100%.
and stuff. And ever since I've tapped into that, y'all, it's unreal. It's unreal what I've been experiencing. It's unreal how God has been working in my life. Like, things still get to me, y'all. Okay, but I see it completely differently, because it's not like, oh, this person's coming for me, or this person, you know, has it out. It's like, no, they're going through something, like, and it's like same way, like, if I'm moving in love, like, yeah, maybe when I'm feeling on the inside, but if I truly want to be at peace with myself and with others, then I need to love myself and love others, like, so that's my theory, y'all.
No, I like that, because I feel like if you move in love, you avoid a lot of situations, like, if that can happen, like, even just like someone being angry with you, like, it's like, if I'm like, yo, Ori, dog, why didn't you do this, and you're like, yo, my bad, bro, it's okay. Like, it's hard for me to be mad. I can't, like, this doesn't make sense. Exactly, it doesn't make sense. Exactly, right? So I think you can avoid a lot of situations by moving in love, and actually can probably create a lot of opportunities for yourself as well, just because I think that love is something that is maybe not, it's common, but it's like genuine love is not really as common, I feel like, in this world right now. Day and age. Right? Everyone is kind of thinks about themselves a lot, right? But the little moment that you take to have like genuine love and towards someone else, it's like, oh man, this is something that's kind of rare, or I don't feel all the time. So they respond in the way that, in a nice way, right? And a theme that is also, that's been coming back like the last 3, 4, 5 episodes is the importance of God, right? It like constantly keeps coming up, the importance of God, and that in everything that we do, like He's essential to it's essential to the grind. Like you can grind by yourself, and you might get to a certain point, you might get fired, right? But it's not going to be as far or as well as you would do if you put God at the center, you know. So that's something that's a big thing that keeps constantly repeating itself through a lot of the guests. So it's something that I think is important, right? So. I mean, I don't even have a would you rather actually question.
Nah, but my head is blank. I told you. My
head is blank. You guys killed me. But it was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Where can the people find all of your things? We're going to drop all the links in the bio, but we want you to go through it.
So basically you can follow me at Adaeze Music _. I didn't say, guys, but this is where you're going to hear it first. I actually recorded some stuff, so there's going to be some music coming out pretty
some
soon.
Hot fire.
You know what I mean?
Give a month.
So I can't.
Come on.
It's a secret.
Come on,
so follow me if you guys... I actually don't know. I recorded it.
I'm giving that month so we can hold you accountable. Every guest that comes on this show, they always say something they're going to do, and then they give a time frame. I remember everything. So give a time. You can honestly give realistic goals.
By the end of the year.
So by December.
Yeah.
So by December. So by December.
He will call you.
So by December 31st, I'm gonna save it on my phone.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll see it even before then, but I feel like that's a good. Yeah.
Okay.
Aquille.
Y'all heard it here first.
Done.
December.
There'll be more music coming out.
Okay.
Crowned. Y'all can follow me on Crowned by DKAQ.
Okay.
I also have my website, www.crownedbydkaq.com. Expose.yeg on Instagram for Expose. Also, if y'all are listening, you're a creative or an entrepreneur and would love to share what you're doing in the community, please, please send us a message, because we'd love to chat with you and share the amazing things that you're doing. And what else? C Tribe X Music, y'all. Make sure you go follow. Also, 10 at 10. I recently joined their team as well. They're in Calgary. Incredible organization. So make sure y'all go follow 10 at 10. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, give one shout out to one creative you want to shout out. I know you're big on that. Just anyone that, just not that kid. Let me clear it up for her. Listen, I'm not making it that it's just one, so that it's not like her favorite one. It's just that one that first comes to her mind. I don't want to cause any beef for her,
No, y'all, this is hard, but I won't lie. For creatives right now, who I've been really into, like, okay, I have a few, so I'm just gonna quickly say them all that come to my head. So K-Riz, definitely 110,000%.
Fire.
Like my favorite local artist, like freaking real. K-Riz, CX to the world. Real.
Big up the boy.
Boy is unreal.
Jeez.
Jay Black, I will give a shout out to Vested Productions, my producer. Also, there's one more that I wanted to say. Oh my gosh, y'all.
I forgot.
This is making me nervioso. So many are coming to my head now. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Someone's going to
get Commudio, La Connectional.
Basically
every single creative and entrepreneur in the city, I'm shouting y'all out.
Hey.
If I could have a whole episode for that, I would have it.
The shout out episode. Well, we may have an episode of shout outs.
Probably, actually, bro. There's so much people
you can shout out.
That's true.
Okay. That brings it to a close. But y'all know what to do. Comment, like,
subscribe.
What else? Follow.
Yeah, follow.
We're going to drop all the links for everything here down below.
Yes, sir.
So you guys can go, click it, go follow Adaeze, go support all her on all her platforms, all her ventures.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? All the creators that she shouted out to, we're going to drop their information down too, so you can go check them out, go follow them.
I know your IP addresses.
We know we're gonna be making sure. We're gonna be making sure.
Hey, I actually don't.
We're gonna censor that.
Nah. We always say we're gonna censor, but we actually never promise. Nah, it's unfiltered.
Unfiltered, unadulterated.
100%.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, guys.
It was nice having you.
Me. I appreciate it so much.
No
my first podcast.
Jeez. Okay. It was
for real. By I'm actually serious. December end.
I'm actually serious. It's gonna be there.
Okay.
Save it in your calendar right now.
You guys are a witness.
Witness it all, y'all. I don't just talk.
She thinks you're joking.
The 100 Nigerian percent, or is it the 1%? It's like a Nigerian 100%,
It's the 100. It's the 100.
Since I said it out that I was even making music, now I can't even not put it out.
You can't.
I like that.
You can't be like Kanye out here.
Once I put it out there.
He dropped the album though. Actually.
He dropped it in?
Yeah, done that. Yeah.
He did. It's already dropped.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay. My bad, Kanye. All right, guys. We will see you later next week. Follow for the next episode of the Grind Theory Podcast.
Yes.
We
like,
out.
comment, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.